Good Wednesday morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys
Good
and girls.
Wednesday morning, everybody.
Everyone.
Every single person out there. All 350 million of y'all in America.
What if we had 350 million subscribers?
Well, we could afford better microphones.
We could, and a lot more other stuff.
Yeah.
That would be amazing to have 350 million followers.
Imagine if this message went out to all 350 million and they all took it in.
Yeah. What a thought.
What
an idea.
Hey, so it is Wednesday morning.
Yes, it is.
Which means you have endured Tuesday all day. Congratulations,
Congrats.
You did it.
Yes.
364 more to go until you get to the same day next year. You did it. Good job. Hey, but what are we about to do?
We're about to see a funny video.
Funny video time.
Let's get it.
Let's get it. Are you going to snap? Okay, so we got a kid with a snack.
And it just got his snack taken.
What are you going to do?
I don't know. Oh, boy, this is funny. Big old bear playing peekaboo with a little kid.
Just a few inches away from a deadly beast.
Beast of a bear. Look at that. Better stop teasing that bear. Oh, you know this is going to be funny.
Oh, hey, Corey, how are you?
Hey,
what you doing today, Corey?
That's not nice, Paul. There it is.
And gotcha. Got him.
Man, how about that video?
That video was awesome.
What?
And this is a piece of wood because I've got a beard and I just chopped down a tree and carved this wood out.
He does look like a lumberjack, and yes, you didn't have that before we started.
But now I do.
You're scaring me. Can we?
What's the devotion about today?
The devotion is about, guess what it's about? It's about forgiveness. What it was about yesterday.
Yeah, the whole week. The theme is forgiveness. This whole week.
Because forgiveness is huge.
Absolutely.
Huge. You got to be able to forgive as a Christian. You have to be able to forgive.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm going to discard this
Yes,
now.
please. Let's talk about this. I forgive you for bringing that on set.
All right, so let's go ahead and get started with this devotion. This week is about forgiveness. We're supposed to mimic Christ, okay? Christ forgave us, and think of all the stuff that you have done in your lifetime that Christ has forgiven you for. So we're going to get started today. We're going to go on and push through the Wednesday devotion, and we're going to start with the story. So
yes, we're going to start with this story, and I love this story. I tell you, I haven't had a story that I didn't like so far since we've started our devotions.
Yeah.
And this story, it's just like they keep getting better and better because they paint relevant and very true pictures of stuff we can find ourselves encountered with. Hey, you like that, encounter?
Yeah.
And so let's delve right into it. The scripture it comes from is from 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verses 5 through 11. And that's what the story's centered around, so let's get on with it. Okay. Several years ago, when I served as the sponsor of the Christian Students Club at our junior high school, one of the female members chose to send inappropriate photos of herself to her boyfriend, who, in turn, shared them with all of his friends on the basketball team. As word circulated around campus, I watched the club members faithfully carry out Paul's instructions in today's verses. They knew the girl had been humiliated, confronted, and disciplined. They also knew it was time for restoration. So they loved and supported her as she made her way back into the group's fellowship. I've never been more proud. As members of God's family, we have a responsibility to forgive and show grace when a person repents. As sinners in need of grace, we should be ready to give grace to others when they need it. Hallelujah.
Yeah, no, that's really good.
That's good.
It's easy. And the verse that we're about to read really kind of supplements that perfectly.
Yes.
I should say. That really supplements the verse that we're about to read perfectly. They go hand in hand.
Yes.
Let's go on and read the verse. I'm going to throw it up here, and then we can talk about it all at the same time.
I want to throw it up.
Throw it up. Throw it up, man. Do your thing. Well, that was just goofy. So in 2 Corinthians 2, 5 through 11, it's titled, Forgive the Sinner. And Paul writes to the Corinthian church, he says, in verse 5, he says, Now if anyone has caused pain, he has caused it not to me, but in some measure, not to put it too severely to all of you. For such a one, this punishment by the majority is enough, so you should rather turn to forgive and comfort him, or he may be overwhelmed by excessive sorrow. So I beg you to reaffirm your love for him, for this is why I wrote, that I might test you, and know whether you are obedient in everything. Anyone whom you forgive, I also forgive. Indeed, what I have forgiven, if I have forgiven anything, has been for your sake in the presence of Christ, so that we would not be outwitted by Satan, for we are not ignorant of his designs. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just wow.
Absolutely.
That's some good reading right there.
Out of all, I mean, there's so much there. There's a lot of content there. But look how Paul puts in, right there at the end, he refers to Satan, okay? And the point that he's making is, if we can squash these problems ourselves, okay? He's repentant, he's sorrowful, he is upset that happened. Let's welcome him. The humiliation of it is bad enough sometimes.
Yes.
Welcome him back into the fold.
Yep.
Because Satan, right there at the end, because Satan will use anything that he can to distract us from our main purpose. Okay, and that's glorifying God. Yes. Glorifying God in everything we do. So if he can make me hold a grudge against Corey, then hey, none of this happens. Devotions don't go out because we're at ends with each other. Yep. So he will try to get in there and he will try to ruin people's friendships and people's lives by planting little seeds. So think about that. What do you got?
That's good stuff, man. Things will happen throughout your life. Last night's devotion was I said something and I want to clarify. People will let you down. It's inevitable, and that could be something so small and it could be big. But the most powerful thing you do, we have so much power that as Christians, people just don't understand. Yeah. And one of the biggest things that is a demonstration of that power is forgiveness. For you, think about it. Just wrap your head around this. This might seem obtuse to some people. But if somebody wrongs you, and it is obtuse. And they really just straight up stomp on one of your pet peeves. And they are your closest friend. And you love this person like a brother or sister. They could be your brother or sister. And they do something that just really rattles your cage. Yeah. And you have in that moment, and that moment could be a day, could be a week, could be 6 months, however long you let it last. But you have in that moment the opportunity to be like Christ and forgive them. Yeah. Forgive them. Imagine what gift you're giving them, because as you said, humiliation on this earth, some things don't matter, but one thing that we do experience in life is humiliation when we step out of line and we do something, we have a lapse in judgment. Why did I do that? I was caught up in the moment. I was caught up in sin. Satan tricked me. I fed into it. Bam, I've fallen. And this brother or sister, whoever it is willing to raise their hand up to me, or down, however you want to look at it, and say, come back up, you're forgiven. We're cool. We're going to keep on living our life. I will not let you just stay down there. Yep. You're with me. I'm with you. Let's get through it. You got to really, and it might take a while to grasp that, guys, especially if you're a young person. But that is true power, and that is true love. And that is so pleasing to God when you can just forgive someone. Because in the story, one of the things I took out of that they did for this young girl, she had a lapse in judgment. I just said that. I gave that an example. She did something, that Satan was probably manipulating her mind. This is cool. This is good. She fed into it. She fell. At that point, those people that lifted her up and forgave her and counseled her, they saw in a moment, they probably saw, something, this is a young mind. There's potential in this girl. Yeah. She could be another follower of Christ. Why would we let her stay here and just get worse and worse and worse and let the humiliation turn into, this is an acceptable life to live, I'm fine, and she keeps making bigger and bigger and bigger mistakes when they put a stop to it and they said, something? This happens. This does happen. Yeah. But one thing we're not going to allow is for you to keep on making these mistakes. You're beautiful. You're made in God's image. You can bounce back from this, and you can do great, wonderful things. And something, we're all capable of that, and we're all capable of stumbling from times, but we have to be able to forgive.
Absolutely, that's good stuff. We serve a God, and there is a God who came to this earth for the sole purpose that we were going to sin. Okay, if we weren't ever going to sin, the need for him coming isn't there, okay? Genesis, the fall never happens. Sin never entered the world. The need for Christ isn't there if we never sin. But every person sins. The Bible says there's none without sin, okay? So everybody sins, all right? So Christ comes to earth and willingly for 33 years stays on this earth, and then for 3 years has his preaching that he does and his witnessing, and it is just, it's awesome because it all ends in the cross, and every sin that you ever did is covered, if you're a Christian, in that cross.
God.
Okay? That's crazy, man.
That is when you really give your life to Christ, guys. When you accept that, you just think about there is no greater gift. There's no amount of money. There's nothing physical, cars, assets, homes, anything this world has to offer, because this world doesn't matter in the end.
Yep.
There's no greater gift. There's no greater gift for someone who died thousands of years ago because of every screw up that you were going to do, everything you've done. It's all covered. There's just nothing we could be granted that's bigger than that, and that's why it is so huge for you to extend that courtesy to your fellow Christian or soon to be Christian. Yeah. You got to be able to do it. It's beautiful.
Represent
spreading
Christ.
the love.
All right, so hey, that is Wednesday's devotion. We will see y'all tomorrow.
Yes, we will.
Thursday.
And I may or may not be in a suit. I'm back in the hoodie. Alma mater. Got to have it. And he's back in his flannel. Lumberjacking it up.
All right, so.
I'm sorry.
Sidetracks. We will see you in the morning at 6 a.m. right here in this studio. A few things to mention. Great Harvest Bread Company has said that we can start filming there, so that's exciting. We're looking forward to that. We'll hit that a few times inside their back room there. Go visit them. They got wonderful, wonderful food there.
Yes, they do.
Great coffee. And D6, the curriculum that we have, D6 is put out by Randall House.
Shout out to Randall House.
Randall House, if you need one of these, call us.
Yes.
Text us, comment, subscribe, comment, whatever, and we will make sure that you have one of these magazines. All right? Because these help. This is the middle school one. We have one for high school, and then parents have something that they can read. But the whole purpose in this is to keep the family growing together, because this world that we live in right now wants to separate your kids from you.
Yes.
All right? The world is willing, with open arms, to take your kids from you. Now, it is your option to say, not today. I'm not going to do that today. And this is an avenue, or one way that we're trying to help supplement this, is that we can do these daily devotions where the teens read it, you can talk about it, and have about 10 to 15 minutes a day where you just talk about God, and that's awesome.
Spread the word, guys. Like and subscribe. Talk about this. Go home, spread it. Talk about it amongst your friends. Don't let it just stop here. Go out and spread it.
Yeah, do something today. Do something Wednesday, today, for Christ.
Yes.
All right, let's go out. We're gonna forgive like Christ has forgiven us. We're gonna show Christ's love.
Yes.
We're gonna witness.
Let's get it.
And hey, it's all worth it. And we love you guys. Okay. And have a good Wednesday.
God bless, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Come on, let's get it.
Filled with hair.
Come on, man.
This isn't a real
Gotta
treat.
get it.
Yeah, get it started.
Good Wednesday morning. I looked at you. That was a mistake. I looked at you. 2, 3. What are you doing?
Just put this up here. So look at that.
Yeah.
Look how comfortable I am now.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Because you never intend for it to go. Just,
Just chop down this tree.
it looks like driftwood.
Just chop down a tree.
What are you doing?
Let's start like this.